Hey guys, I'm Salima and this is my kitchen. Today we're doing a little bit of an experiment. I love tostones and I make them at least once or twice a month, so I feel like I have my recipe pretty dialed in. But a long time ago, a family member told me that if you soak your tostones in water in between the first and the second fry, it enhances that crispy texture and just takes them to a whole new level. I've tested this method a few times and I really do love the result. You can add seasonings and lime juice to your water to add a little bit more flavor into your tostones, which is really cool. But I always end up just doing the traditional twice fry method with no soak because it's easier and faster. But today we're gonna make both versions and we're gonna come back and taste test them together to determine if soaking your tostones is actually worth the extra work. So grab your ingredients and let's go. We're starting with some green plantains. It's really important that they are green and firm, no brown spots, no yellowing. We're gonna trim them and then peel them completely before chopping them into about 1-inch chunks. I'm doing quite a few plantains today, but you could really just use one if you're just going for a little snack. Next, we're going to heat our oil in our pan to about 350 degrees. It's really important that your oil stays around this temperature the entire time. We'll add our plantain pieces in and fry them until they are light golden brown like this. At this point, we need to smash our plantains, and many people will use a tostonera, but I just use 2 plates or a glass and smash them gently. And here's where our experiment comes in. So for half of those smashed plantains, I'm making this mixture of water with some lime juice and adobo seasoning. Whisk this together until it's evenly combined and then gently add half of your tostones or all of them if you are sold on this method. You're gonna let them soak for about 5 minutes before draining the water and gently transferring them to another paper towel lined plate. Just pat them dry gently and let them sit for a few minutes until most of the water has been soaked up. Now we're ready to give everything the second fry. So I'm starting with our traditional method, just the twice fried tostones with no soaking. They look pretty great. And then we're going in with our soaked tostones for their second fry. Just fry everything until they are light golden brown, just like this. And then you can transfer to a paper towel lined plate and you are all set. All of these tostones have me feeling like the luckiest girl in the world. So excited to dig in. One more time, I'm gonna show you. These are our traditional twice fried method, crispy, golden, beautiful. And a moment for our soaking method, truly gorgeous, super crispy, super golden. Both versions of our tostones are done, and now it is time for our taste test. I think it's really important to top your tostones with salt right when they come out of the fryer, so I've already done that. And then I made a little bit of mayo ketchup with just mayonnaise, a little bit of ketchup, and some grated garlic. This is one of my favorite dipping sauces. I'm gonna jump right in and then we can talk about the differences. First, I'm gonna try our traditional version. A little bit of mayo ketchup. As always, these are delicious. Now let's try the tostones that we made with the soaking technique. I didn't want to think this was better, but I think it's better. Damn. To be completely honest, I was hoping that the traditional method would be better because it's just easier to make, there's less steps involved. But this method, the water soaking method, it really does work. There's something about soaking the tostones in between the fries that adds like these little air pockets that then when you fry them for the second time, they get puffed up, almost like one of those puffed snacks that you get at the grocery store. They're just super light and airy and crunchy all the way through. Whereas with your traditional tostones, they are a little bit more dense in the center. They're still delicious, but the texture is just incredible on these. I feel like every bite is gonna be crunchy and crispy and airy, and to me, this is a no-brainer. These are better. That said, I'm probably still gonna use the traditional method when I'm in a hurry and I don't feel like getting extra dishes dirty. But if I'm trying to impress people and I want something really special, this is gonna be the winner. Before we wrap up, there are a couple things I want to note about these two versions. With the water soaking version, you will have to get more dishes dirty, right? You have the bowl to soak them in and any measuring spoons you use for your adobo seasoning, which honestly, you could just eyeball it. And also when you're frying these, they do have a tendency to break apart a little bit more. So when I made the traditional version, there was no residue in the oil after frying, but with this version, some little pieces did break apart just because they get more fragile when they're soaked in water. So your oil will just have a little bit more debris in it. It's not a big deal, but if you're planning on reusing the oil, I wouldn't do so after this technique, or at least I'd strain the oil to remove any solids. It's also really important to note that with this method, you have to make sure to pat the tostones dry before putting them back into the oil. If you skip that step, it could cause a lot of that extra water to end up in your oil and cause a lot of splatter, which can be dangerous. So I can't stress enough, you have to pat them dry with a paper towel or a clean kitchen towel. So what do you think? Is this trick worth the work? If you want to give this experiment a try, I have the recipe for both versions of tostones on my blog, salimaskitchen.com. You can head over there and check them out. If you try both versions, I would love to hear your thoughts. Which one do you prefer? Probably just a matter of preference, and some people will probably prefer the traditional kind. Thanks for testing this out with me, and I will see you guys next time.